25th meeting of the Prince George's County Planning Board will now come to order. As always, today we start with administrative items, and then we will hold our development review and announcements until 10:30. So the first order of business is, first of all, we wanted to welcome everyone and make sure that we have our full complement of planning board members. And we do have, I see Madam Vice Chair Bailey, I see Commissioner Dorner, I see Commissioner Washington, I see Commissioner Giraldo, I see our legal counsel, two of our legal counsels, Peter Goldsmith and Kristen Maniville. So I'm going to start with our administrative items, which is first item number 2. We need a motion regarding the draft minutes of the May 14th, May 28th, June 11th, and June 18th planning board meetings. Is there a motion?
Move approval, Madam Chair. Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Washington, seconded by Vice Chair Bailey. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Madam Vice Chair?
Aye.
Okay. Madam Vice Chair, Commissioner Washington?
Aye.
Commissioner Giraldo?
Aye.
Commissioner Dorner?
Aye.
Okay. The ayes have it, unanimous. Item 3A, Ms. Hightower, are you on? We have CB 33-2020.
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair. For the record, Raina Hightower. I would like to discuss CB 33-2020 Draft 2. This bill will allow the District Council, Zoning Hearing Examiner, and the Board of Zoning Appeals to hold virtual land use hearings with full public participation. The bill also establishes different timelines for submittal of documents to county offices depending on if the documents are submitted electronically or to a Dropbox. Staff supports the legislation, but we would like the bill to be amended to require all timelines for submission of documents to be treated equally. Staff recommends the Planning Board vote to support CB 33-2020 Draft 2 with the above-mentioned amendment. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Hightower. Does the board have any questions? Madam Vice Chair? Commissioner Washington? Commissioner Washington? Commissioner Dorner?
No.
Commissioner Giraldo? Is there a motion?
Move approval. Record support with recommendations.
I have one question.
Well, we have a motion. Is there a second first?
Second.
Okay, the Commissioner move for approval, motion for approval by Vice Chair Bailey, seconded by Commissioner Washington. Your question, Commissioner Giraldo?
Is there a timeline on this? In other words, once the pandemic is over, will it go back to, or will this be in perpetuity for the virtual hearing?
That's not considered for this purpose right now. Just like we're doing virtual right now, when the pandemic is over, there's an expectation that we will be able to go back at some point.
No, I understand that, Madam Chair. It's just that means that there's going to have to be another amendment to the code, I'm assuming, if we get to that point.
Okay.
But I'll take a vote. I'll go with it.
Thank you. We can talk about that offline. Thank you. I'm just trying to move through. Okay. Okay. So there's no other discussion. Madam Vice Chair.
Vote aye.
Commissioner Washington.
Aye.
Commissioner Giraldo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dorner.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. The ayes have it 5-0. Next, we have item 3C, which is an authorization for staff to file applications for COVID-19 funding and grants. The draft resolution is PGCPB number 2020-112. We have our attorney, Ms. Maniville, to address this.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Members of the Planning Board, can you hear me?
Indeed, we can.
Great. Okay, I'm here today to ask for your consideration of a resolution that we prepared. This has to do with applications for the Commission to apply for funding in connection with coronavirus and COVID-19. The Planning Board has given to staff the delegation to apply for grants and loans, but in certain occasions, grantors and grant-making entities are looking actually for a specific resolution coming from the governing board. And I'm encountering one just now that I'm bringing to you. Specifically, our College Park Airport has applied for $30,000 from the Federal Aviation Administration. And this is funds set aside just for our airport through a legislative formula coming from Federal Aviation Administration. Our airport manager, Lee Summer, is intending to use these funds to support airport salaries that otherwise would have been paid for with enterprise funds. FAA has awarded us the grant and has asked that we sign the grant application agreement in another couple weeks. The grant requires a specific certification that, quote, an official decision has been made by the governing body authorizing filing of the application and understandings and assurances and so on. So I'm bringing it to you to get that specific authorization. I did take a look at commission minutes from around the start of the COVID-19 shutdown, which was March 18th or so, through present, and I don't see any indication that we've adopted some sort of a resolution yet, whether at the commission level or at the planning board level. I consulted with General Counsel Adrian Gardner, and we thought this was appropriate to bring to Prince George's Planning Board, since this board controls the source of funds, which is enterprise funds, that would otherwise pay the salary costs of the airport staff. And so I'm asking that the planning board adopt this resolution allowing staff to apply for and the executive director to sign applications for this type of funding related to coronavirus and COVID-19. I
Ms.
think
Mandeville?
DPR can benefit
Yeah,
from
Ms.
this
Mandeville?
resolution, and
Ms.
I
Ma-
also
Ms.
drafted
Mandeville,
some
Ms.
copies.
Mandeville, we have everything here for the rest of it now, so do you just need a motion on the resolution then?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Okay,
Move approval, Madam Chair. Commissioner Washington.
thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Bailey. Is there any discussion? I'm going to call the vote. Madam Vice Chair?
I have a question.
Okay.
Here.
Ms.
Question,
Okay.
is this part of the PPP fund?
The PPP fund?
Right, is that, when you refer to the money that we're applying with the FAA, is that part of the PPP or not?
It's the
correct.
Coronavirus
Yes.
Aid, Relief, and Economic Security
CARES.
Act, the CARES
It's
Act.
CARES.
And I think the subset of that was the PPP, yes.
It's part of CARES.
the, so it's a misnomer just to refer to it as a grant, because the grant comes later.
Yeah, the grant, as I understand, is for private entities, and these funds are specifically coming to us through the FAA and for airports, whether operated through by a public agency or a private entity.
Okay.
So it's not
Thank
the
you.
same kind of salary funds that small businesses were applying for. It's a different bucket.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Is there additional discussion?
I just have a question, I'm sorry. Did I hear you say it's a $30,000 grant?
Yes.
Fund? Okay, thank you.
So we have a motion and a second. Madam Vice Chair?
Vote aye.
Commissioner Washington?
Aye.
Commissioner Dorner?
Good eye.
Commissioner Giraldo?
Aye.
Okay, so with that, thank you. The ayes have it. Thank you, Ms. Mandeville. The ayes have it 5-0. That's for the resolution, but the resolution that Ms. Mandeville just requested. Okay, thank you so very much. So without further ado now, we do have, time is running short, so we have to go to a closed session. Pursuant to Section 3-305B3 and B7 of the General Provisions Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, we need a motion to go into closed session for purposes of acquisition of real property and consultation with counsel.
Move
Move,
approval.
Madam Chair.
Okay, so we have, we'll take that as Commissioner Giraldo's motion and seconded by Madam Vice Chair. Madam Vice Chair?
Vote aye.
Commissioner Washington?
Aye.
Commissioner Giraldo?
Aye.
Commissioner Dorner?
Aye.
Okay, so we're going to break now from open session and go into closed session. Okay, thank you. Okay, do you?
You gotta go to a different.
Okay, we'll reach out. Okay.
Please do, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Okay. Can you find Jessica, because they're looking at how to do this. First order of business, we just finished closed session, so we need a motion to come out of closed session.
Move approval, Madam Chair.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
Okay.
Second.
And Commissioner Bailey's mic is off. Is not on. Okay, so we have a motion by Commissioner Washington, a second by, was that Commissioner Giraldo?
Yes, it was.
Okay, thank you. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. That's unanimous. We have all 5 board members on there, so I will just, for the record, I will indicate that we have Madam Vice Chair Dorothy Bailey, Commissioner Shawnice Washington, Commissioner Will Dorner, and Commissioner Manny Giraldo on. We also have our counsel, Peter Goldsmith, on with us today, and I am here in our hearing room, and I am joined by our planning director, Andre Green Sheckley, and no, I'm going to do that in a minute. And we also have our technical hearing writer, Marie Proctor, and we have Kenny Flanagan here working all the PowerPoints, and we have our planning board administrator who's in and out doing resolving tech issues, and along with our wonderful tech people who are present, and one of whom I will mention in a moment. So having confirmed that we have the full complement here, I would like a motion to ratify the action taken in closed session.
So moved, Commissioner Giraldo.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Giraldo, seconded by Vice Chair Bailey. Vice Chair Bailey?
But aye.
Commissioner Washington?
Aye.
Commissioner Giraldo?
Aye.
Commissioner Dorner?
Aye.
Okay, so having completed our administrative portions and our closed session portions, we will now be ready to proceed with announcements and also our development review items. So good morning once again. I'm Elizabeth Hewlett, Chair of the Prince George's County Planning Board, and the development review portion is now in session for Thursday, June 25th, 2020. Once again, in an abundance of caution resulting from the global coronavirus pandemic, this is the Planning Board's 14th virtual meeting utilizing online, phone, and video capabilities. During these challenging and unprecedented times, the Commission remains steadfastly committed to promoting a safe and healthy environment for our public, our applicants, our stakeholders, and staff, while continuing to business operations to propel Prince George's County forward. I'd like to take a moment to remind everyone of the participation guidelines for our hearings. Speaker pre-registration and pre-submission of comments and exhibits. All participants must pre-register and all materials must be submitted by 10 a.m. on the Wednesday before the planning board meeting, as shown on the screen, as announced at each and every hearing, as on our website, so that everyone knows, and it gives us a chance to see in advance what the exhibits are. It gives us the opportunity to review the exhibits so we're knowledgeable about them. Registered speakers and presenters connecting with a computer, a tablet, or smartphone can join the meeting with the link provided via email from the planning board office. Online participants may be prompted to install GoToMeeting software in order to participate in the process. To listen or participate using a phone line, the participants may dial the call-in number provided in the email. We ask all participants to mute their phones when not speaking, but please do not put your phone on hold. To eliminate audio feedback, only one connected device with sound should be in the room at the same time. Of course, the public may continue to watch the planning board meetings streamed live, or if you wish to become a person of record, you may sign up on the online web form, and please note the screen for instructions. We thank you and appreciate your flexibility, cooperation, and support during this time. As always, we commence our hearings with a moment of silence for those who have passed on in the intervening weeks since our last meeting on June 18th. First of all, we want to remember the growing number of victims of the widespread coronavirus. Globally, it is over 9.5 million and over 485,000 deaths. In Prince George's County, we have 18,644 confirmed cases and 643 deaths as of last night. Again, these are human beings. They're not just statistics. They're human beings. They're loved ones. And so we want to remember each and every one of them and their families in our thoughts and prayers. We want to remember Mary Wilson, who was the first African-American senior zookeeper at the Baltimore Zoo, who was also fell victim to COVID. Alan Liu, who was the former D.C. city administrator, who was a New York native who served under 3 District of Columbia mayors. He was the city planning executive who led major development projects such as the Washington Convention Center, RFK Stadium renovation, and the Nationals Park baseball stadium. We want to remember, we keep Megan Reiser in our thoughts and prayers. Megan Reiser is with the planning department right here, one of our planning family, whose mom recently died, so we want to keep her lifted in prayer. In the legal community, we want to remember Loretta Clark, who was a Dunbar High School graduate and a longtime recreation specialist, and she was the mother of our own Judge Tony Clark. We want to remember the Honorable Larry Holtz, who was a retired Southern Maryland District Court judge. He had a long career, brilliant attorney, a good judge, and he was the husband of Barbara Holtz, who was a longtime go-to deputy county attorney with the amazing institutional memory. She was also acting county attorney for Prince George's County. I had the recent pleasure of attending their 50th wedding anniversary last December. Throughout the nation and the world, Joel Shoemaker, film and TV director who worked on Batman Forever, The Client, A Time to Kill, St. Elmo's Fire. Ian Holm, known for his roles with Lord of the Rings and Alien. Trey Savage, age 26, the Chicago rapper, shot while driving. Steve Bing, writer and film producer known for writing Kangaroo Jack and investing in the Polar Express. A.C. Tony King, age 94, U.S. Navy vet who survived the sinking of the USS Indianapolis during World War II. Angela Madsen, who was the Paralympic rower and LGBTQ activist, former Marine who drowned while attempting to row solo across the Pacific Ocean. Ruth Mandel, Holocaust survivor and former advocate for women in politics, and she was also the vice chair of the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Council. If we could keep all of those in our thoughts and prayers, and our sympathy and condolences are also extended to anyone in our viewing audience who has suffered a loss of which we are unaware. Thank you. I also wanted to take a moment to provide some announcements. Again, we are closing out the month of June, which was Caribbean American Heritage Month, LGBTQ Pride Month, African American Music Appreciation Month, Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month, the Great Outdoors Month, Men's Health Education and Awareness Month, and Commissioner Washington, Women's Golf Month. But you don't have to stop now. I would say on June 25th, the following occurrences took place. In 1788, Virginia became the 10th state to ratify the U.S. Constitution. In 1876, the Battle of Little Bighorn, otherwise known as Custer's Last Stand, when General Custer and his United States 7th Cavalry were defeated, more like decimated, by the Sioux and Cheyenne warriors led by Chiefs Crazy Horse and Sitting Bull. 1938, the Princess of Scat, the songstress Ella Fitzgerald's A Tisket, a Tasket hit #1 in the charts, and some of you will remember that legendary song. 1947 was the historic publication of the first version of Anne Frank's diary, who was a victim of the Holocaust. 1988, the Baltimore Orioles Iron Man, Cal Ripken Jr., played his 1,000th consecutive game, and he still holds the record at 2,632 consecutive games. And as we approach the 4th of July, in 1996, saw the film release of Independence Day, starring Will Smith, Jeff Goldblum, and Bill Pullman. Finally, 1984, June 25th, 1984, saw the release of Prince's iconic Purple Rain album. And to commemorate the occasion, as well as the birthday of earlier this month of His Royal Purple Highness, you will note that each of our commissioners is donning a splash of purple in memory of Prince, and to commemorate the anniversary of Purple Rain. Couple other announcements. We wanted to acknowledge Bert Vito, who just retired from the commission, and she at the tender age of 94. This woman has more energy and more gumption, so there was a drive-by parade for her, and we wanted to honor her. And again, we will honor Debbie Tyner, the deputy director, who served with us for 35 years, and there'll be a drive-by tomorrow for her. The one for Bert was a little bit earlier.
That was a surprise.
Huh?
That was supposed to be a surprise.
Okay, well, hopefully, let's not say anything. Okay. So I would acknowledge that the Department of Parks and Recreation, their Grab and Grow program continues at the 5 locations. So 2 distribution sites were added this week, and they do this Monday through Friday, and they pass out census information as well. And speaking of census, the response rates as of yesterday were 63.3%. We have been stuck there for several days at that 63.3%. So we wanted to make sure that everyone completes their census form, and you can do that by going to the website depicted on the screen or calling the number depicted on the screen. It's so important. I would also note that the Department of Parks and Recreation is promoting virtual summer clubhouses for kids aged 6 to 17, and including STEAM, sports, arts, music, theater, and more. And you can go to pgparks.com for more details. Kudos to the Department of Parks and Recreation on the virtual Juneteenth celebration on Facebook last week. They had an amazing panel, I Can't Breathe panel discussion, and then they had virtual Juneteenth activities all day long on Friday, which was June 19th, Juneteenth. Finally, okay, so we wanted to acknowledge happy birthday to Callista Black, who is our Principal Public Affairs and Marketing Specialist in the Chairman's Office. We don't always see Callista, but she's working diligently on behalf of the entire commission in the planning office, and we want to wish her, I'm sure she's watching, we want to wish her a happy birthday this week. And then secondly, we want to go to Ryan Cron. Ryan is a multimedia specialist who also has a job working with the Nats, and he's doing the camera work for the Nats and the scoreboard and whatnot. So he was just bestowed with his world champion ring, as you see on your screen now, and that is a huge ring. I've seen it up close. It's beautiful, and he's so deserving. So we want to give a shout out to Ryan on his Nats world champs ring.
We also want some tickets.
Okay, well, you'll have to talk to him about that. And finally, congratulations are in order to our, hit it, Kenny, our outgoing our outgoing president of the Prince George's County Bar Association on completing a highly successful term in the most challenging year of our lifetime. We want to congratulate Commissioner Manny Giraldo on his presidency of the Prince George's County Bar Association. He had a phenomenal year, a challenging year, but he rose to the occasion, as always. Can we all give him a round of applause? So let's go to our pic so everybody can see us.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're very, very welcome, and you're so deserving.
I could not have done it without an excellent board of directors behind me.
That is wonderful, but it takes a team to get anything done.
It does.
Right,
It really
and I too know that because of the amazing team that we have here, our board, and everyone else that we have here. And then wait a minute, I want to make sure everyone sees the pandemic pup chase. Okay. Okay, so with those announcements, I'm going to go ahead and go to the draft resolutions, 4A, B, and C. I see Mr. Gibbs has signed up on 4C, but I think that's only for questions. And Mr. Gibbs, are you on?
Good morning, Chair Hewlett. Yes, Ed Gibbs here, and I'm just here for any questions or any issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the draft resolutions for items 4A and 4A through 4C, or any board member wishes to discuss? Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Giraldo.
Second?
By Madam Vice Chair. Is there any discussion? Madam Vice Chair?
Will I?
Commissioner Washington?
Aye.
Commissioner Dorner?
Will I?
Commissioner Giraldo?
I vote aye.
Okay, the ayes have it 5-0. We are next going to proceed in this order item 7, 8, 6, and 5. We're going to start with item 7. We're going to make sure that we have everyone that we need. Ms. Hassan,
I'm here.
thank you. Mr. Ray,
I'm here.
Ms. Finch, Kim Finch, okay, I'm not sure if she's here or not. We'll come back. Judith Howerton, okay, thank you. Tim Davis,
I'm here, Madam Chair.
David Bickle,
I'm present.
Van Keen Bias.
Yes, I'm here.
Wonderful. That concludes the sign-up list. So it seems like we got everyone. So Ms. Hassan, you are on.
Madam Chair, are you asking me to present this case because I didn't work on that case?
No, I'm not. No, not Hassan. Ms. Hassan.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
All right, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
All right. Madam Chair, Planning Board members, for the record, Fatima Hassan, Special Projects Section. This mandatory referral review for MR 2001F Mullican School Bus Lot relates to updating an existing school bus maintenance and storage facility, including adding a 2-story multi-use depot for bus drivers and staff, infrastructure for electric buses, and a bus washing station. Slide 2, please. The site is located in Councilmanic District 4. It is in the established communities portion of the county in Bowie. Slide 3, please. The northern portion of the project area is dominated by buildings and parking areas for autos and buses. The southern portion is dominated by parking for the school buses. Slide 4, please. The subject site fronts on the north on Mount Oak Road and is 1/2 mile west of the intersection with Mitchellville Road. It is bounded by open space, land owned by MNC PPC on the east and south, and to the west are the railroad tracks owned and operated by the Consolidated Rail Corporation. Slide 5, please. The site is zoned OS. Slide 6, please. This map showing environmental features. The project area is fairly flat, paved area sloping to the east with vegetation in the southwest corner of the site. The site is adjacent to the Collington Branch Stream Valley Park, there shown on the west. Slide 7, please. Mount Oak Road is a designated scenic road. Slide 8, please. The existing site map shows the existing buildings and the temporary buildings and storage sheds that are to be removed. Slide 9, please. The proposed site map shows the proposed new bus wash structure in pink and the proposed new bus depot for drivers and staff in blue, along with the remaining structures. Slide 10, please. There are 12 staff recommendations, mostly focused on maintaining existing vegetation and providing adequate landscaping and vegetation that screens the view of the proposed development from the existing single-family housing nearby. Slide 11, please. Other recommendations are for planting islands and shade trees within the parking areas and for using native species. Full cutoff optics and incorporating green building techniques are also recommended. Slide 12, please. Other recommendations focused on providing bicycle infrastructure to recognize that Mount Oak Road could in the future be part of a bikeway system linking Church Road and Mitchellville Road bike facilities. This application has been reviewed for conformance to the Planning Board's adopted uniform standards for mandatory referral review as set forth in the technical staff report. Staff recommends that the Planning Board adopt the staff comments and transmit them to the applicant. This concludes the staff presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Hassan. Let's see if the board has any questions of you. Madam Vice Chair?
No questions.
Commissioner Washington?
No questions.
Commissioner Dorner?
No questions for you.
Commissioner Giraldo?
I have none.
Okay, thank you. So we have a number of people signed up for, on behalf of the applicants. I don't know, I think it's Mr. Bickle who's going to take the lead.
I don't have any additional comments
Okay,
on what staff has provided.
okay, so that's Mr. Bickle, and the same thing for Mr. Davis and Mr. Bias?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Then,
Further comments.
thank you. Is there a motion then?
Madam Chair, this is Commissioner Washington. I move that we accept the recommendations of staff and approve transmittal to the applicant.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Washington, seconded by Vice Chair Bailey. Vice Chair Bailey?
Vote aye.
Commissioner Washington?
Aye.
Commissioner Dorner?
Aye.
Commissioner Giraldo?
I vote aye, Madam Chair.
Wonderful. Okay. Thank you so much. The ayes have it 5-0. The next item on our agenda is item 8, which is a mandatory referral 1929F for homes at Oxon Hill. Let's do a check. Ivy Thompson.
Good morning, Madam Chair, I'm here.
Wonderful. Bobby Ray. Again.
Yes, Madam Chair, I'm here.
Mr. Hatcher.
Yes, Madam Chair, I'm here.
Okay. Chuck Schneider.
Present.
Okay. Judith Howerton.
Present.
Okay. And again, David Bickle.
I'm present.
Brandon Schultz.
I am present, yes.
Wonderful. Jessica Zaninga. Jessica Zaninga.
Here.
Okay, thank you. Diana Talios.
Here.
Diane Clyde.
I'm here.
Michael Jackson.
Here.
James McGraw. From the Housing Authority of Prince George's. Miss.
He was not able to attend.
Okay, so you've got it, Mr. Jackson. Then okay.
Yes.
Okay, and then I would also note that we have one exhibit, which is a letter of support from the Indian Head Highway Area Action Council, signed by Sarah Cavett, President. With that, Ms. Thompson, you're on.
Okay. Item 8 is MR 1929F, Homes at Oxon Hill. It's the proposal for the construction of a mixed-use multifamily apartment building with commercial space by the Prince George's County Redevelopment Authority. Next slide, please. The subject property is located in Council District 7. Next slide, please. The property is addressed as 1313 Southern Avenue. It is located north of Wheeler Road and south of the Southern Avenue Metro Station. Next slide, please. The property is currently undeveloped and vacant. Next slide, please. There are no environmental features on this site. Next slide, please. The subject property, which is outlined in red, is zoned mixed-use transit and is surrounded by both mixed-use transit and residentially zoned properties. Next slide, please. The subject property is within the Southern Green Line Station Development District Overlay Zone. Next slide, please. The site is accessed by two locations, one directly from Southern Avenue, which is at the top of your screen, and then Wheeler Road to the east. There are no master plan rights of way that impact the property.
The project proposes new construction of an L-shaped, 5-story multifamily building designated for senior citizens with 3,000 square feet of ground floor commercial space fronting Southern Avenue. The project includes 163 1- and 2-bedroom units, community amenities including a walking path that circles the stormwater pond, and an outdoor gathering space for residents. The sidewalks will connect to those in the surrounding area along Southern Avenue and the Wheeler Hills Road entrance. Access to the main residential entrance and parking area is provided off of Wheeler Hill Road. The commercial parking area is separated from the residential area and is only accessible via Southern Avenue. Next slide, please. The proposed building is 5 stories and approximately 55 feet in height. The section of building fronting the avenue includes an additional lower level. The overall height in this location is approximately 76 feet. The building facades are divided into a repeating pattern of materials and sections varying in widths and colors that include pointed roofs, thus adding architectural interest to visually break up the long horizontal expanses of the 2 elevations. The development includes green design features which will be certified in accordance with the Energy Star program. Next slide, please. So slides 10 through 13, and I will go through them. The mandatory review, our staff recommendations. The mandatory referral review process does not exempt any project from the need to meet the requirements of any other entitlement processes. Staff supports the development of a mixed-use residential community for the elderly with 15 recommendations addressing trash, sidewalk connections, parking, and signage. Next slide, please. So, again, these are the noted recommendations. Next slide, please. I think that goes through. And then one more, please, so that you can see the 15. Staff recommends transmittal of comments to the applicant, and that concludes staff presentation.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hassan. Let's see if the board has any questions. Madam Vice Chair? We've got to unmute her.
Yes, I do have a question.
Okay, thank you.
I did not see much information about lighting in that area. Is it? I guess that's something that will come later, or how will that be handled?
I'm sorry, you said lighting?
Yes, I'm familiar with that area. There's going to be not much lighting in that area.
So we did ask if you would go back 2 slides, please. There is a recommendation, is that it? For the applicant to show the lighting on the site plan.
Okay.
And
that will be
It's
sufficient.
item 7. No?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
I'm 7 now.
No, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. That was wrong.
It's number 10.
It's number 10, yeah, thank you.
Oh, I do see it now. Thank you.
Can you go 2 more slides down? 10. Okay. Is that there? Okay.
No, recommendation.
The recommendation
not
10.
slide 10.
Yeah, recommendation 10, yeah.
Recommendation. I
Yeah.
see the recommendation.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, was that it for you, Vice Chair?
I have another question. Can't find it. I saw it last night. It's defined as a mixed income use, and I'm wondering how is that defined for this particular project?
Madam Vice Chair, I am going to defer to Mr. Hatcher for that, to answer that question.
Well, he can answer it when he gets up. He will remember, I'm sure. Thank you.
Okay, so let's see if there are any other questions for Ms. Thompson at this time. Okay, so Commissioner Washington,
No questions.
Commissioner Dorner,
No questions.
Commissioner Giraldo.
I have no questions, Madam Chair.
Okay, wonderful. Mr. Hatcher, you're on.
For the record, my name is Chris Hatcher with Lecture Lane Brewery here on behalf of the applicant. I'd like just to address the questions that came up first and foremost.
Sure.
First, the building will actually have lighting attached to it, and the parking lot will have lighting in it, so there will be lighting that will be on the site. I would definitely understand some of the concerns that were expressed by you, Madam Commissioner. And also, mixed income, this is going to be a tax credit deal, which means that a certain percentage of the units will be 60% area median income or lower. I believe at the time this application was submitted, it was somewhere around 90%, but internally we're coordinating with some of the partners in the deal just to make sure what the appropriate percentage should be. But mixed income more directly is referring to the 60% AMI or lower. With that, we've been excited and working through the stakeholders and coordinating with all the necessary folks who have an interest in the property. My client has reviewed all the recommendations, and we're excited to incorporate the vast majority of the recommendations into the final plans, as well as we are in receipt of the letter of support from former Commissioner Cavett. I've spoken to her directly multiple times, and we're exploring the feasibility of including some of the technology that she is suggesting in her letter into the building. Not entirely sure this is the best application of that technology, but her sentiments about making sure that the building can accommodate those whose hearing might be deteriorating is definitely not lost on us, and we're definitely focused on that. With that, there are several people signed up from our team that are ready to respond to any questions that you might have, but we respectfully request that this board accept the recommendations in staff's report.
Thank you, Mr. Hatcher. I'll see if there are any questions, but my first question is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Of the 7 people signed up, do you plan to put any of them on, or just are all of them here for just questions?
They're here to respond to any questions that the board might have.
Okay, thank you. So let's see if the board has any questions of you at this moment, or any of the experts. Madam Vice Chair?
Not at this moment, thank you.
Commissioner Washington?
No questions.
Commissioner Dorner?
Yeah, I have a couple questions. I was actually expecting a more fulsome presentation. So I think there's some things I'm not sure about with this unit. I didn't get any good impression about whether or not these are individual units. If this is going to be a multifamily development that's going to just be leased out to senior age residents, or if this is actually going to be like an assisted living facility of some kind like that. So if Mr. Hatcher can address that. There's also been no detail about the indoor and outdoor amenities. It's a recommendation by staff, but it's completely absent from any of the application that we saw. I would also like him to explain a little bit more about the 60% AMI. I don't know if you're going for HUD funding, or you're using, if this is going to be a multifamily unit, then a little bit of aggregate income would be good. There's different ratios of the AMI to define very low income and low income, and just having a stark kind of cut at 60%, and it's not very helpful for me to know kind of what you're getting at. And then also on the note of Ms. Cavett's recommendation on the induction loop, I don't understand what the comment is about. You're not sure whether or not this is the best application of that, because the purpose of the induction loop, I understand some of the other tech comments that you have for her letter, but the purpose of the induction loop specifically for people who are hearing impaired, which could be a lot of this community. If it's a senior age community and you don't have induction loops in any of the common areas, I'd be wondering where would be the other application of this that would be any better than this kind of a project. And also, then you kind of respond to some of those questions.
Absolutely. Again, this is Chris Hatcher. This is intended to be a multi-family lease building, so it's not going to be for, there's no sale condos or anything like that, so it's going to be a multi-family building that's specifically marketed to seniors, so not assisted living or anything of that nature. Some of the internal community amenities that we are proposing, which is it might not be reflected on the plans that were submitted, but they are contained in the SOJ. So there's going to be in the statement of justification that was submitted with the application. So there's going to be a library/computer room that's contained in the building, as well as a fitness center, multi-purpose gathering spaces throughout the building, as well as lounge areas, and that's all internal. And externally, obviously, we have the walking trails that are intended to go around the stormwater management pond, as well as the sidewalks that residents can use that are on the site that can connect them to the sidewalk paths that will either take you to the commercial strip that's farther down to I believe it's the south, and obviously the metro station that's farther to the north. With respect to the induction loop question, that's, again, we're still getting into the details about the application of that technology, but initially it appears like that technology might be more geared, that technology might be more geared to like auditorium style situations, or larger churches, or things where there's a lot of people congregating, to help sound out some of the background noise. But again, we take that comment not lightly, so we're still exploring if this is the best application for this site. And the final question regarding some of the details of the financing, I believe Jessica Zaminga is on the line. She might be able to assist with that question.
Hi, this is Jessica Zuniga from Foundation Development. Financing plan for the project includes both market rate units, which would not be income restricted, and then also units that would be income restricted, and those would be restricted to households that do 50 to 60% of your income. So there will be a mix of various income levels.
Okay, so I understand that's for the financing for you to actually be able to qualify for very low income units, but is that going to be for the permanency of the development? Is that only the first 5 years? How is that structured? Because it's still a vague response.
Well, it would be structured based on our financing, which would be for a term of 40 years. We would be using the low-income housing tax credit program and loan funds from the state of Maryland, and those do require a 40-year income restriction.
So that'd be for the entirety of the financing that you would have, that 60% of the units would be at 60% of AMI, or what was the mix?
It's a market rate unit and income restricted units, so the entire development is income restricted.
Okay, yeah, but what's your ratio? Is it 10% that are at 60% AMI, or 50%? Like what is the ratio of the market rate to other income restricted units?
It's 10% market rate units, and the balance are income restricted.
Okay, I think that these kinds of details are good to know. This is what I would like to be seeing in some of these units to help out with some of the gaps that we have, and clarity. I think my message to staff is that we should be a lot more clear this kind of stuff in the slides, and we're putting together the information for the applicants, because I think that's very helpful to know, especially as I continue to talk about it.
Thank you.
And Mr. Hatcher, I'm still, this may be also another point of clarification that our staff needs to be a little bit clear on. With the induction loop, I think the purpose typically is for auditorium spaces if it's more public kind of buildings that have like a community room that's used for meetings. But I believe that induction loops are also beneficial for any kind of community space where you might be having meetings or any kind of interaction perspective. This is not, it's not something new. We've been hearing this for years. So although this might be something new for you hearing it, it is certainly not something new that our staff has heard or that they've been proposing. So I think it would be helpful to know more clarity in terms of where you'd be putting that. But then also my message to staff would be, we should probably be a little bit more clear to the applicants early on that these should be amenities that we're looking for units if they are senior age kind of units. This is the helpful thing that would help them out, as well as any kind of public buildings where we might have senior age populations coming in for community meetings.
This is Chris Hatcher. I definitely understand the comment, and as we continue to design the building, we'll look deeper into the technology to see if it can, how it could be applicable to the property, or how it could be incorporated into the property.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Giraldo?
No questions, Madam Chair.
Okay, so with the questions that have been presented, okay, Madam Vice Chair?
I do have another question for Mr. Hatcher. I noticed that he has listed Mr. Earl Gums as the president of Hillcrest Heights Civic Association, but I'm wondering if he's had any contact with Mr. Gums, because usually Mr. Gums will make a comment or send a comment or something like that, but I notice I don't see any of that now. I know it has been interrupted, his meetings have been interrupted because of the pandemic, but I wonder what kind of interaction has he had with Mr. Gums?
So we reached out with Mr. Gums. I've reached out personally to Mr. Gums multiple times, and we were actually scheduled to meet with that community association right before the pandemic hit. Afterwards, they did discontinue their meetings. We did provide that correspondence to staff just for verification purposes, but then we did, as part of our community outreach, we put a letter together and sent it to the various community associations, as well as all the adjoining property owners, as well as any of the stakeholders that we even heard were interested in the case, just to make sure that we had a very robust community outreach given the pandemic circumstances. But I have directly spoken to him and that community association. It's just very unfortunate what occurred during. It's just very unfortunate what occurred.
Well, I agree, but would you continue your efforts with that civic association? Thank you.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay, so I don't know if the board has any questions of you, any additional questions of you, Mr. Hatcher, but it's possible that some of your folks may want to follow up on some of the questions that have been asked. I'm not sure, but if any of your folks would like to jump in at this time, this would be a good time. But just identify yourself if you do. If you have something to add in response to the questions and issues that have been raised. Can you unmute? Okay. So, is that you, Mr. Jackson? Or did you wish to say something or no?
No.
Okay. Okay, so if no one else has anything to add, is there a motion?
Madam Chair, this is Commissioner Washington, and I move that we accept the recommendations of staff and approve the transmittal of MR-1929F to Mr. Hatcher.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it, Madam Chair, but I would like the comments of Commissioner Dorner to be considered by our staff as well as the developer.
Yeah, thank you. So I was going to see let's see what, under discussion, if there's any additional suggestion for purposes of the recommendation. So we have a motion and a second by Commissioner Giraldo under discussion.
Well, this is the motion maker. I would just add to Mr. Giraldo's point that Commissioner Dorner's comments can be folded in as additional recommendations on behalf of the planning board.
And I go along with that. Yes, thank you, Commissioner Washington.
Okay, so there were a couple of suggestions there. Ms. Thompson, are you comfortable with folding them in? Or do they need to be restated?
I will listen to the transcript.
Okay.
And draft them that way. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, and I'll look for the letter. Okay, let me see if there's any additional discussion. Any other board member have discussion? Okay, so we have a motion. I'm going to call for the vote, which has now been amended. The staff recommendation has been amended to incorporate Commissioner Dorner's suggestions. Madam Vice Chair?
Vote aye.
Commissioner Washington?
Aye.
Commissioner Giraldo?
Aye.
Commissioner Dorner?
But I am, thank you for the incorporation.
Okay. The ayes have it 5-0. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Item 6, we have the standard at the College Park. It's a detailed site plan 19068. I'm going to double check and make sure that we have everyone. Jeremy Hurlbut.
Present, Madam Chair.
Jill Kosak. Chris Hatcher.
Present.
Mark Juba.
Present.
Tom Masad.
Present.
Ben Ryan.
Present.
Helen Hassan.
I'm here.
Okay. Joe DeMarco.
Present.
Eric Leith.
Present.
Ellen Rogers. Ellen Rogers. I'll come back. Terry Shum. Can you unmute everybody?
I'm here, Madam.
Okay, was that you, Ms. Shum?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Miriam Bader.
Yes, I'm here.
Jason Dornbos.
I'm here.
Did I pronounce it correctly?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Okay, thank you. Let's go back to Ellen Rogers. Okay, not present. Okay. Okay, and then, so that concludes the sign-up list, and then we have 3 applicants. We have exhibits. We have applicants exhibit number 1, which is the proposed revisions to the staff report, I guess, findings and conditions, and then we have applicants exhibit number 2, the metal panels, the Guilford Drive metal panels, and then applicants exhibit number 3, the transformer art concept. With that, we're good to go. I'm going to turn to you, Mr. Hurlbut.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and members of the board. For the record, my name is Jeremy Hurlbut with Urban Design Section. Bear with me for one moment, I'm sorry.
No worries.
The project before you is detailed site plan DSP 19068, the standard at College Park. The applicant is seeking approval of a mixed-use building with 283 multifamily dwelling units and 6,000 square feet of commercial retail. Next slide, please. The site is located in the northern portion of Prince George's County in Planning Area 66 and Council District 3. Next slide, please. More specifically, the site is located south of Hartwick Road, approximately 450 feet west of US 1. Next slide. The zoning map shows that the property is located within the mixed-use infill zone. Next slide. The overlay map shows that the property is within the 2010 approved Central US 1 corridor sector plan and is part of the development district overlay zone, as well as within the APA 6 height restriction or aviation policy area, which limits the building's height to 9 stories. Next slide. The aerial photo illustrates the existing conditions of the 1.84 acre property, which is currently improved with an existing 3-story, 62,000 square foot office building and service park. The property is bounded to the north by Hardwick Road and beyond by residential multifamily, and to the east by existing commercial, which is approved for mixed use and commercial development under DSP 17003, and to the west by a development known as Terrapin Road, and to the south by Guilford Drive and beyond by multifamily. Next slide. The site map shows that the site slopes from the north to the south to Guilford Drive and the stream within the roadway. The site does have floodplain on the southern portions of the site. Next slide, please. The property fronts on master plan collector Guilford Drive, shown here in green. Next slide. This bird's eye view, which is showing the existing conditions of the property with the commercial use and how the site slopes to the south. To the west is the University of Maryland-owned Terrapin Road development. To the east is existing buildings that are being raised for the development of DSP 17003, and multifamily is located, existing multifamily is existing to the north and south. Next slide. The proposed 9-story building will have frontage on Hardwick Road, Guilford Drive, and a new public street to the east that will mostly be constructed on the proposed development to the east, but the sidewalk and other small section of the roadway will be constructed on this property. The new roadway will provide access to the bottom level of the structured parking and to an enclosed loading and trash area. The second level of structured parking will be accessed from Hardwick Road through an opening in the center of the building. These two levels of parking will not be interconnected. The pedestrian access is provided by a main resident entrance located next to the garage entrance in the middle of the Hardwick Road frontage, and a secondary access on the Guilford Drive frontage. The 6,000 square feet of commercial retail use will be located in the northeast corner of the building, with entrances on Hardwick Road in the parking garage internally. The building is surrounded by sidewalks on all 4 sides. The building will overhang the ground floor arcade, which is shaded at the bottom of the slide. You can see it's slightly shaded at the bottom of the slide. The project will have 3 courtyards on the second level, and a roof deck shown on the left side of the screen, which will provide amenities for the property. The applicant has requested 8 amendments, allowing flexibility for the construction of the building on top of the structured parking, reducing the parking requirement, increasing lot coverage, reducing the percentage of the building at the build-to line on Guilford, and for signage, screening, and architecture. Next slide, please. The circulation map further illustrates the pedestrian paths and vehicle paths around the building. Next slide, please. This slide shows the applicant will construct sidewalks on their frontage, shown here in this slide in blue, that will complete the sidewalk network for the block. Next slide. This slide shows the impacts to the primary management area. DEPI has granted a floodplain waiver for the construction within the 100-year floodplain, since almost the entire site is currently located within it. The proposed arcade on Guilford will provide compensatory storage to allow for the development of the site. Next slide, please. This slide highlights the 3 second-level interior courtyards, which have been, or will include a contemplation courtyard, a study courtyard, and an active courtyard. Next slide, please. These amenities within these courtyards will include a yoga lawn and cafe seating, bench alcoves and various seating, conversation lawn, booths, and tables. Next slide, please. The main clubhouse on the 9th level of the rooftop will include study spaces, pool tables, yoga room, fitness room, and a roof deck amenities, which include jumbotron, water wall, outdoor kitchen, hammock garden, and lawn and table games, to name a few. Next slide. This slide highlights the elevations of the building, with the southern elevation on the top of the screen, with the resident-only entrance seen where the red column of the building is, just to the left of the screen, with blue squares on the ground floor level, which are the location of the metal panels that the applicant has provided additional information for. The bottom of the slide is the north elevation. This shows the Hardwick Road elevation, with the retail on the bottom left of the screen and a parking entrance in the center of the building, and to the right, the main residential entrance, as well as the variation in the building along this long frontage. Next slide, please. At the top of the screen is the west elevation, and at the bottom of the screen is the east elevation. The east elevation at the bottom will have cantilevered balconies on the right-hand side of the screen, as you can see, accented by red acrylic panels and glass that span vertically above the retail elements. Further to the left, along the new proposed road, will be the loading dock entrance and the structured parking entrance, where the cursor is now. Next slide. This slide shows a perspective of the plaza and arcade area on Guilford that will be placed into a public access easement. Next slide. This rendering shows the arcade in relation to the Guilford Drive sidewalk, which shows that the arcade will be recessed below the grade of the existing roadway, and railings will be provided for safety. Next slide. This slide shows the sign plan showing the location of all signs on the various frontages. Next slide. Signs will include a signature sign, canopy signs, blade signs, wall signs, retail, parking and parking entrance, building numbers, and pedestrian warning signs, as shown here. Next slide. The applicant has requested an amendment to allow a larger than normally allowed blade sign to be placed on the north side, or north facade, so it can be seen as you approach on Hardwick Road. Next slide. This flyover, please start the flyover, or fly through, I should say, will give you a sense of the space underneath the building along Guilford Road. To the right will be an entrance to the parking, the structured parking, which will be covered by a red canopy on the plaza level. As you approach into the arcade, it will be activated with a variety of seating elements. These are just shown as representative elements to give you a sense of the space. The blue panels on the walls are where those metal decorative panels the applicant has provided an exhibit for will be located, and the applicant may highlight more. And to the far end is the staircase, which will lead into the residents-only access point from the Guilford frontage. Moving down the sidewalk, you will see a second arcade area, which will be treated much the same. The columns in the arcade are important in bringing the building to the street and keeping it in line with the Terrapin Road development and future development to the east, which can be seen at the end of this animation. Next slide, please. This flyover is a 365 flyover starting in the southwest corner of the building and shows the roof deck to the west, and the interior courtyards can be seen from above, as well as the arcade at the bottom of the screen. The urban design staff recommends the planning board adopt the findings of this report and approve detailed site plan DSP 19068 for the standard at College Park. The applicant has proposed revisions to the staff report, which staff is in support of subject. And with that, that concludes staff's presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hurlbut. Let's see if there's any questions. I don't have the questions yet, but I do have a comment. I have to tell you, the amenities are very, very interesting and varied, which is a beautiful thing. And when this all comes to fruition, I would love to avail myself of that hammock park. But anyway, okay, so let's see if there are any questions. Madam Vice Chair?
No questions.
Commissioner Washington?
No questions, but I strongly associate myself with your remarks, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Okay, so Commissioner Giraldo?
I have no questions, Madam Chair. I'll associate myself with yours as well as Commissioner Washington's remarks.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Dorner?
So, yeah, I agree that the amenities are quite impressive, especially some of the stuff in the backup with the artwork. I definitely appreciate that attention to detail. This is really sharp. The one thing I want to know about is I'm trying to get to that hammock park on Bite. How do I actually do it? Because I see that there's new sidewalk connections and that looks great, but everything is geared towards pedestrians walking around. I didn't see whether or not there were going to be bike entrances into the building, up the stairs that were there, or how I'd kind of get around and not hit a pedestrian on the sidewalks, which look just a tad bit narrow. So that's my concern, is I just want to be able to get there on my bike.
Okay, so let's see if we can get those questions answered. Okay, so if that's it, Mr. Hatcher.
For the record, my name is Chris Hatcher with the law firm of Larch, Hurley & Brewer, here on behalf of the applicant, the Standard LLC, for DSP 19068. My client is extremely excited to be in College Park and to help contribute to this downtown with all the development. If at all possible, I'd like to address the commissioner's questions first.
Sure.
So the sidewalks at a minimum on each side of the building, I believe, are 5 feet. And I actually think that along Guilford, which is where I think your question was, I think it actually might be a little wider, maybe around 6 feet. I'd have to check the plans, but they aren't necessarily. They're 5 feet. They're 5 feet sidewalks. Additionally, I think as part of some of the conditions that transportation section may have had, I think we're painting some of the I believe some of the street with some biker paths information. So there in other words, I think there might be a path on the street to get you from Baltimore Avenue to this site, and additionally there's also the sidewalks, which are a little wider than that. We have been coordinating pretty extensively with the town of University Park and obviously the city of College Park, and we worked through that process, and we think with their input, it's actually made a much better building and a much better community space if you take a look at that Guilford Park. With me today is the applicant's representative, Eric Leith, the architect, civil engineer. We're all available to address any questions that you might have, but we have submitted the applicant's Exhibit 1 with proposed revisions to the staff report and conditions, as well as applicant's Exhibit 2, which focuses on what that the ornamental features in that Guilford Pocket Park could be, to grab some representative examples, as well as applicant's Exhibit number 3, just some of the concepts dealing with those transformers along that new road, which will be constructed and ultimately maintained by the city. We have, just so everybody's aware, shared all 3 of those exhibits with the City of College Park. I certainly don't want to speak for Ms. Shum, but I believe they're in agreement. I think they'll be able to respond to that directly when they speak. But with that, we're very excited to start on this project and continue to contribute to this downtown area, and respectfully request that the planning board accept the recommendations, the findings of facts, and conclusions of law contained in the staff report as updated with applicant's Exhibit number 1 and approve DSP 19068.
Thank you, Mr. Hatcher. I'll see if there's any questions. Again, I said it when I was talking to Mr. Hurl, but I'm very impressed with the amenities. I mean, the rooftop garden. I mean, the even the freeform wood benches, the fireplaces, the linear fire trough, and the trough, and the I saw it double-sided. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, double-sided fireplace, and again the hammock garden. I misspoke. It's just beautiful. So let's see if there are any questions, Madam Vice Chair.
Madam Chair, I don't have a question, but I do have a comment. The previous cases, Mr. Hatcher, we looked at senior citizens and looking at hearing opportunities, better hearing opportunities for citizens. And then we go to College Park for the young people. And I'm just trying to decide which area would I like to move into, which category would I like. Very exciting, very exciting. It highlights the diversity and the beauty of Prince George's County.
Thank you. Commissioner Washington?
No questions. Are you okay, Madam Chair?
Yes.
Chair, you all right? Let's take a break.
I need 1 minute, please. Thank you.
1 minute break.
Thank you. You have questions? I forgot where I left off.
No, I had expressed an observation, but I'm fine. Good. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Washington.
No questions.
Okay. Commissioner Dorner.
So I would encourage Commissioner Bailey to check out both places, but come over by UMD. You can definitely take advantage. There's lots of stuff, classes and everything. It shouldn't necessarily guide people in thinking that they have to live in one place or the other. The mixes are always nice. But yeah, I wanted to I want to say that I do think that this is a fantastic looking development. I really appreciate the additional emphasis on the artwork, as well as the transformer covers. That's something that's been kind of new and up and coming, and it's a nice extra feature to give additional kind of excellence to the developments in our county. And I appreciate the comments, Mr. Hatcher, about the bike paintings on the streets. The one other thing that I just wanted to ask about was, it looked like in some of the fly-arounds or the video footage that there were some stairs on Guilford Road and those areas. I just wanted to find out for just ADA kind of stuff and then bikers as well, whether or not there was going to be an easy way to kind of get around those stairs. And I'll mention that one of the developments that's nearby to here had a kind of side sort of crevice that you can take with the bike, so you can actually kind of, it's a ramp, and you can actually push the bikes down as you're going down the stairs. So I just mentioned that as kind of an observation.
Okay. Thank you, and we'll see. Does anybody want to respond?
This is Chris Hatcher. Thank you for the recommendation. Just to address your question, if you're trying to access that pocket park off Guilford, there's with your bike, there's actually two ways you could do that. So when you off from Guilford Road at the intersection of Guilford and the new road, that's actually at grade. So you will be able to just to walk your bike into at least the first enclave of that arcade area, right there where the blue starts. That's actually going to be at grade, and so that's one way you can access that pocket park with your bike. Additionally, where it sort of splits for the residents only access point to the second half of the arcade area, that's actually going to be more like a ramp. So you'll be able to not ride your bike, but you'll be able to walk your bike down that ramp to access that point as well. So that's a really good question, and that was actually some of the things that we were working through with your staff and with the City of College Park as well.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so, and that was it. I got to Commissioner Giraldo, right?
Yes, I have no question.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we've got all the questions answered. Let's see, and Mr. Hatcher, your folks are here for questions only?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay, so let's go to Terry Shum with the City of College Park, please.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Terry Shaw, represent City of College Park. Glad you're okay, Madam Chair. This is going to be pretty easy today. The College Park City Council voted unanimously to support the application with conditions that have been reflected almost verbatim in your technical staff report. So we really appreciate your staff's attention to our comments, and we're really on the same page with all of those. The city is also in agreement with the proposed revisions and exhibits submitted by the applicant. And I do want to thank the applicant for especially working closely with the city on a couple of things. One, we had long discussions about environmental certification and what might be equivalent to LEED Silver certified. And although this project won't be LEED Silver, it will be NGBS Silver, which the applicant proffered, so the city is really appreciative of that. We worked to make some tweaks to the architecture, which I don't think were reflected in the slides that were shown today, but are in subsequent exhibits. And I think, I think it does make for a better building. And then we also spent a lot of time on the streetscapes. The new road is being created, and then you've got Hartwick Road and Guilford Road, where this project will connect to adjacent development, and the streetscape needs to be as consistent as possible. And we had special concerns with the Guilford Drive facade and the way the streetscape works there. So we look forward to the certification of this plan, where I believe the conditions will be addressed to make this area as open and inviting as possible. And one big change would be removing the metal railing that is right at the back of the sidewalk, which makes it feel like it's more a private space. And in fact, there will be a public access easement there, and I believe code allows you to open it up a little bit more with stairs. Let's see. Finally, in regard to bicycle accommodations, there are existing sharrows on Guilford Drive and Hartwick Road, and the city maintains those. There's not enough right-of-way to allow for bike lanes, unfortunately, but there is accommodation for bicycles. finally, let me just say, I know these amenities here make you almost want to be a student again, and almost wants to send you back to school. And it would be nice if some of these amenities could extend to market rate projects as well all over the county. So with that, I will take questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shum. Are there questions, Madam Vice Chair?
No questions.
Okay, Commissioner Washington?
No questions.
Commissioner Geraldo?
I have no questions, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Dorner?
Yeah, can we turn to slide 20 or 23? So, Ms. Shum, I think my only question was, is this what you're talking about when you were kind of a little bit hesitant about the railings?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so that I had the same kind of concern as I was looking at the slides when they were coming through there. Particularly for bikers, like if you're on the right-hand side and trying to ride on the sidewalk for whatever reason, if you got pushed up against those railings, that could be really bad. So yeah, maybe Mr. Hatcher can talk about. I realize that since it's a different grade, there's sort of a safety concern potentially, but if you need the railings, if those could be very transparent and see-through, that would be ideal. But I don't even know if we necessarily need railings there.
Agreed.
So maybe we can ask Mr. Hatcher to address that. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so that's it for the questions for Ms. Shum. Now, Ms. Bader, did you wish to speak too?
No, Madam Chair, I'm fine.
Okay, thank you.
Further comment.
Okay, thank you. So that's it for our speakers, unless I missed anyone. We're good? Okay, so now, Mr. Hatcher, can you address Commissioner Dorner's question?
Yes, Madam Chair. This is Chris Hatcher for the record. Commissioner Dorner Ms. Shum, I think your comments about that railing are spot on. I think that's why we received a condition that is a carryover from the city, B1R1, that sort of seeks to give us some flexibility to explore how much or if any of the railings should be there. There are some safety concerns because there is a change in grade there, but that is something we are actively looking at. And Ms. Shum is right. That's something that we're excited to address during certification.
Yeah, my suggestion would be similar to what you've got then in the R1 is that you can have kind of step down grades, which would actually be nice to kind of get people down to the lower grade level. That wouldn't be just sort of a hill dropping off, and it wouldn't be as sort of divisive with putting the railing there. So yeah, I think exploring the steps or some other way to transition downward would be great. And that could be outside seating that you could have in addition to there for some other activities as well.
Thank you very much. What we will say is the steps we might be just a little bit resistant to, because that does mess up some of the, it does mess up some of the compensatory storage calculations that this area also supports. But we definitely understand just how the railings that are proposed might come off is not necessarily as inviting as we really want it to be, and so we are actively exploring how to open up this space, and I think we have some internal solutions which we're excited to share with the city and your staff during certification.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right, that's it. Mr. Hatcher, did you have anything to add in closing?
No, Madam Chair, but I'm happy you're okay as well.
Me too. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, is there a motion?
Madam Chair, this is Commissioner Washington, and I would like to, and I move that we adopt the findings of staff and the findings as amended by applicant exhibit number 1, and approve the alternative development district standards as outlined in staff's report A1 through A7, and also is further amended and updated by applicant exhibit number 1, in addition to approving DSP-19068, along with the associated conditions as outlined in staff's report, and again, further amended by applicant exhibit number 1.
I second that, Commissioner Giraldo.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Madam Vice Chair?
But aye.
Commissioner Washington?
Aye.
Commissioner Dorner?
Good eye.
Commissioner Giraldo?
I vote aye, Madam Chair.
Okay. Wonderful. The ayes have it. 5-0. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you very much.
And then bringing up the rear in terms of the sequence here, we have item number 5, which is detailed site plan 08035-02 for the Norborn property. I'm going to do a check, and then I'm going to do a check, and then make sure we have everyone. Andrew Bishop.
Present.
Ms. Kosak.
Present.
Okay, Mr. Tedesco.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. I'm present.
Jessica McMahon.
Present.
You know, I'm still getting that right wrong. Okay. Okay.
No,
Brian.
you got it right this
Okay.
time.
Okay, thank you. Brian Turton. Of Dewberry. Okay, we have you signed on. I don't hear anything though. I see you. I see your name there. Present. Okay. All right. With that, I'm just going to turn to Mr. Bishop. I just want to say this one. We have 2 exhibits. We have applicant's exhibit A, which is a letter to remove the McPherson Grand model. McPherson Grand, and applicant's exhibit B, which is it's an email from Matt Tedesco to Jay Allen. Now, I will point this out that typically this would have been a matter that would have been come straightly, or did come to the planning director. It would have come to the planning director. And when this property was posted, we had a request from a citizen for a hearing that I understand the citizen is not signed up. But anyway, I'll just turn to Mr. Bishop to address this, because I don't know that this ever warranted a full-fledged hearing. But we did have the request, so we did comply with our regulations. Mr. Bishop?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the Planning Board. For the record, Andrew Bishop of the Urban Design Section. Item 5 is DSP 08035-02, which requests the addition of 3 new Ryan Homes architectural models. The DSP, as you mentioned, was originally accepted as a planning director amendment, but upon posting of the property, a request for a public hearing was submitted, and the application was scheduled for this planning board. As noted, the applicant has submitted additional information prior to the Wednesday deadline, and is prepared to discuss these exhibits relative to the removal of 1 architectural model proposed with the application. These exhibits have been included in your backup for this application. Slide 2, please. The site is located in Planning Area 77, Council District 9. Slide 3, please. The property is located in the northwest quadrant of the intersection of Marlboro Pike and Woodyard Road. Slide 4, please. The site is in the RT zone and is bounded to the north by Marlboro Pike, east by Woodyard Road, and south and west by single-family detached dwellings in the RR zone. Slide 5, please. Further, it's noted the site is within the military installation overlay zone in Area E, which limits the allowed building height. The proposed single-family attached dwellings meet the requirement of the zone. Slide 6, please. This aerial shows the subject property outlined in red, which is currently being developed, and shows the existing homes that have been constructed on the property. Slide 7, please. The site is currently being developed and has been mass graded. The site is not, this site plan is not being revised with this application and is not making any additional impacts to those previously approved. for any environmental features. Slide 8, please. This slide shows the master plan rights-of-way near the property and includes the arterial of Woodyard Road, directly abutting the property on the east, shown in red, the freeway of Pennsylvania Avenue, north of the site in orange, and the master plan collector roadway, MT 629 in green, which bisects the site. Slide 9, please. This aerial shows the bird's eye view of the developing site with the existing single-family attached dwellings on the property. The architecture proposed with this application may be used with the remainder of the homes in the development. Slide 10, please. The following architectural elevations were provided by the applicant and show the character of the proposed buildings, which are compatible with the architecture approved previously for the application. This slide shows the Schubert D model, which is the 22-foot wide front-loaded garage model that is included in the application. Slide 11, please. This elevation shown here is the Schubert D model, which is a 22-foot wide rear-loaded garage product. Staff finds the Schubert D and Schubert E models acceptable, and staff recommends approval. Slide 12, please. The final elevation shows the McPherson Grant, which the applicant is proposing to remove with the application. This model is included in the original application, and its removal is embodied in the written request to the board from the applicant that is in your backup as Exhibit A. Staff is in agreement with this revision and will adjust the findings of the resolution if the board approves this modification to the application. In conclusion, the Urban Design section recommends the Planning Board adopt the findings of this report and approve detailed site plan 08035-02. This concludes staff's presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bishop. Let's see if the board has any questions of you. Madam Vice Chair?
No questions, Madam Chair.
Okay, Commissioner Washington?
No questions.
Commissioner Dorner?
Questions?
Commissioner Giraldo?
I have no questions.
Okay, Mr. Tedesco?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. For the record, Matthew Tedesco on behalf of NBR Inc. and Ryan Ho. With me this afternoon is Jessica McMahon with NBR. We are, as I think the chair indicated at the outset of this hearing, this was originally requested and accepted as a limited minor amendment pursuant to 27289C of the zoning ordinance, which allows the planning director, authorizes the planning director to make minor modifications to approve detailed site plans. Upon the posting of the property, a citizen by the name of Mr. James Allen requested the hearing. I understand that Mr. Allen did not sign up in time to participate in today's hearing. However, I believe, although I can't confirm, I believe he is listening and monitoring as we go through this hearing. I did speak with Mr. Allen on Tuesday, which is memorialized in an email that I submitted into the record, which is Exhibit B. Mr. Allen and I also spoke on the phone that same day. And again, this morning, Mr. Allen contacted me to let me know that he was not able to sign up in time for the meeting, but did ask that I convey his thoughts on the application to the board. Again, I'm not representing Mr. Allen, but as a courtesy to him, and given the situation that we find ourselves in, I told him that I would do just that. The main reason why Mr. Allen requested the hearing in this case has, in the utmost respect to Mr. Allen, really has nothing to do with the scope of this particular application. His concerns deal primarily with stormwater management issues that he has indicated they are experiencing, which to that I understand, and he indicated to me that they are in contact with DPI about those and working with DPI on those issues or concerns they have. The other comment dealt with the proximity of some of the townhouses to the Windsor Park Homeowners Association property, which is to the south, as well as the Belmont Crest subdivision, which is to the west. I explained to Mr. Allen, and he understood, but just wanted to convey the concern. But I explained to Mr. Allen that the lotting is all approved and platted, and those homes, especially to the south, are already built. The ones to the northwest, close to the Belmont Crest subdivision, are platted, approved, subdivided existing lots, for which he understood that, but asked me to make that comment nonetheless.
Okay.
As it relates to the scope of this actual application, Mr. Allen indicated to me that they had no objection to the limited minor amendment to the architecture. So that leads me to the actual request that's before you. It is very, very minor. I want to mention that the Schubert model that Mr. Bishop went through, that is already approved for this project. It's being built. The request before you is really just very minor changes as it deals with some of the brick detailing, the jack arch, that is the feature that goes above the windows. On the original approval, that is an arched feature. In this request, it's a flat, straight feature with a keystone above the windows. The same thing goes for above some of the doors with respect to the jack arch. That and some minor, very, very minor square footage changes. I think the Schubert now with new building code requirements from what was approved originally is about 19 or less square feet in size. But other than that, everything is the same. We did originally request that the McPherson Grand model be added to the development. However, given the time that this application has been processing, Ryan Homes has decided to no longer pursue the McPherson Grand. Instead, they will continue to offer the McPherson model, both of which are 24-foot wide townhouses within this project. And so with that, Madam Chair, we were required to have this hearing, but this is, again, would be something typically that your planning director would review and staff would review and approve. And with that, we have no changes to the staff report. We do agree with Mr. Bishop's indication with respect to cleaning up the resolution as it relates to our request in Exhibit A to withdraw from consideration the McPherson Grand. And with that, we respectfully request your approval.
Okay, let's see if there's any questions of Mr. Tedesco. Thank you. Madam Vice Chair?
No questions, thank you.
Commissioner Washington?
No questions.
Commissioner Dorner?
No questions.
Commissioner Giraldo?
You're muted.
Just one question for Mr. Tedesco. What was the reason that Brian wanted to remove the McPherson Grand? Was it timing?
The reason was that the difference between the McPherson and the McPherson Grand is that the McPherson, which is again being built on the project today, it's a 24 by 38 product with a 4-foot extension option. The McPherson Grand is a 24-foot by 46, so it's a little bit deeper. And they just noticed with the sales and the trends, not only in this area but in the county, that the McPherson Grand with that bigger, deeper model is just somewhat cost prohibitive. It increases the price of the home, that they're just not seeing a lot of sales towards, and that the McPherson at the 38-foot with the 4-foot extension, which gets you to 42-foot deep, is a much more popular product type.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so that's it for the questions at this time. So, and we had no one to actually speak, all right? Mr. Tedesco, your folks here are just to answer any questions, right?
Yes, we have Ms. McMahon and Representative Dewberry on, just should questions arise that I wasn't able to answer.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, is there a motion?
Madam Chair, Commissioner Washington, I move that we adopt the findings of staff and approve DSP-08035-02.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Washington, seconded by Vice Chair Bailey. Vice Chair Bailey?
Vote aye.
Commissioner Washington?
Aye.
Commissioner Dorner?
Aye.
Commissioner Giraldo?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. So I just want to say this, because we're about to close out. I want to, let me start with Mr. Hunt. First of all, you don't see Mr. Hunt present, but he is the Chief of Development Review Division, and he's working diligently to ensure that these planning boards go well. And so we want to give him a shout out. He's here in the building, not here in the room, but we want to give him a shout out. And there you have it. And I also wanted to say, again, congratulations to Commissioner Giraldo on completing his immensely successful Bar Association year. And as he pointed out, that he can't do it without a wonderful team. And one of his team members is also right here on the screen, and we have the pleasure of having him work with us, and that is Peter Goldsmith. Wait a minute, let's go back. Yeah, there we go. To Peter Goldsmith. So let's give Peter a shout out too on the Prince George's County Bar Association board. And who's not only that. Go ahead.
Can I just? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
We also have wonderful staff at the Bar Association that they were instrumental as well.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I talked with one of them yesterday. Yes, you do. They're great. And so I wanted to give you a shout out too, Peter. Love the pick. I also wanted to say I was remiss with Ms. Kosak. I didn't realize earlier, and I was remiss in not announcing. Ms. Kosak, I know you're still on. We lift you in our hearts and prayers as well, and thoughts as well, upon the loss of your aunt. And then finally, I wanted to say that as we appreciate everyone within our planning department, our board members, our public, our stakeholders, our municipalities, our citizens, our proponents, our opponents, everyone, for your flexibility, cooperation, and support as we try to navigate through this system. And we've done it pretty successfully for now 14 sessions. And so our thanks goes to everybody, but also our willing participants and stakeholders as well. So we wanted to say thank you. And we ask that you make every effort to stay safe, to look out for one another, to stay strong and resilient, to stay woke, and remain ever hopeful as we strive to get through all of these various challenges together. So with that, I'm going to ask Mr. Hunt my famous question for the day. Mr. Hunt, is there any additional business to come before Planning Board?
Madam Chair, that's all the business before the board today. Thank you for the shout out.
You're very, very welcome. And before I hit this gavel, may I say happy 4th of July to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Planning Board is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.